Good morning. Today I'm going to start with the explanation of form validation in JavaScript. As you can see here, the form validation in JavaScript is the type of validation that we do for the forms. For example, if I want to enter some fields into my form and if that fields are not big entered, my JavaScript is going to give me a prompt that I should enter the fields required, and this kind of validation is done for the forms by using JavaScript. If you can see here, forms are used in the web pages for the user to enter their required details that are further sent into the server for processing. A form is also known as a web form or HTML form. Now, validating a form in JavaScript means that the data entered into the form needs to be in the right format, and certain fields need to be filled in order to be and for this purpose we need to make sure that we enter each and every field in the form that we are entering, and if we are not entering the field properly which is being mentioned on the form like username, password, contact information, then it will give us the prompt message that form is properly. And example for example, HTML used to create a form. We will use HTML to create a form, and we will use JavaScript to validate the form, and CSS for the designing of the form. Now you can see here the HTML for designing, that is we discussed in this, that how to design a form. I've used simple input type for if you can see here, simple input type is being used here to make a field known as name, address, email, and password. Telephone are being given over there. I just one select type over here to give a drop down menu option for this. And this is a simple form which is being designed in HTML. And if you can see, now I'm going to show you some functions in the JavaScript used uh, for code validation in the HTML. Now, some functions before starting to use some functions, but what functions are being used for in JavaScript? The first function I'm going to use is document.form. Now, what does this mean in JavaScript? That is a collection of all forms within the particular page. Which means if I'm entering a field in documents, that form will given here. This is the syntax for defining document.form. So this is the name of my form, and this will be to this particular function whenever I call my function in my HTML. How does what does form mean in JavaScript? I've already told you. You can see here. This is the name of the form, and I'm going to enter the form name in the dot form. Now coming next, if we see here, click now executing the for load at any time when the value for the email field is desired would provide the value. Now see here, I have used a variable tag that is documented form, and I'm adding contact form and email dot value. Whatever value I want to retrieve, I'll just give the value here. So the user is entering his or her email ID that will be saved as variable contact by using this document. That email will then contain the value entered into the input field. JavaScript, what does this JavaScript focus function means? This is a focus method that is used to give the focus to the HTML element. Now, whenever we enter a wrong entry into our HTML form, that is going to give our alert or anything that we want to prompt there that the field entered is incorrect or you have left the field, then at that time you again want your focus cursor to be blinking that particular field which is empty. So for that purpose, we are using focus function. It can be applied one HTML element at a time, at a single time in a current document, and can either be for a text field or a window, etc. So if we are entering a wrong value into our field, so it will return our cursor to the text field that is being entered wrongly, and you can see syntax for the element of focus does not accept this is a parameterized and method does the value. The code for if you can see var name, I've used different variable names and I've extracted the names from my HTML form. Names are given there in my HTML form. This is the name of my form, that is register form. And you can see here if this name is being empty, name value, this name is being stored in this name. And now I'm dot value equal to blank. If this is blank, the alert popping up, it will be showing me a message, enter your name dot focus and then return to the field which is being left. And same thing is being done address value. You can see here it will again return the focus value which is already there. Now coming on the next part, you can see here in the code value if the phone value is being left blank in this particular area, going to show this particular message and focus to this. Now if the being left blank, again this is going to show me this. Now this how we are using the CSS for styling. A simple is being used. You can see here the styling functions being going. Now coming on to the code part, if I show you here, this is the HTML code for form validation. This is HTML code for the form validation, and you can see here the script being written over here, and this is the function which I have declared here, and this is the same code which I've already explained you. The script is being ended here. This is a JavaScript code that is being entered into the head part of the HTML, and if you can see, this is style of using the CSS, and this is the styling for the div, and this is the style of my entering the body part. You have to give the name register form. This is the name of the form. Name it as anything, whatever you want. Action means submit.html. This is the page which I have already designed, submit.html. That means when I click over the submit button, it will be redirecting me to the submit HTML. And name again here. This is the simple form we've shown you. We've done this while designing a form. So this is almost the code for form function. If you can see here, if I run this code and I fill all the values here like this, you can see here, and if I'm leaving this particular name value empty here, now this is what inside my form sending this. It should give me a alert. Now here you can see giving me alert here. Please enter. I'll press OK. There's some name here. Now if I press send, it will redirect me to the submit form which I have used there. Thanks for the lecture today.